to be informative and make sure we get to all of your questions. Excuse me, I'm getting over a cold. So as most of you know, I was elected in November and sworn in January, so this is going on our 6th month of serving. I'm on 3 committees and 5 subcommittees in Congress. My committee assignments are natural resources, and I'm also on, which natural resources deals with all of public lands, environmental regulation, mineral resources, as well as energy development, and also tribal community issues. So we have a very strong depth of public lands, and that's very appropriate since our district is 52,000 square miles and is as large as the state of Alabama, and we cover everything from Southern Lyon and White Pine County to Esmeralda, Mineral, Nye, Lincoln, and of course the northern part of Clark County. So we have a very large district geographically with a lot of land use issues, and of course we've been working very hard on a number of bills which we'll talk about later. My second committee is the Homeland Security Committee, and that committee oversees everything from the Department of Homeland Security, which deals with the security of our domestic homeland here in the United States. It provides also oversight of the agencies for FEMA, of Customs, of ICE. So we're one of 2 committees that has jurisdiction over the immigration policy, and so we've been working as a member of the Task Force on Comprehensive Immigration Reform, and I can talk to you about that if there are any questions. And my third committee assignment is the House Oversight and Government Reform Committee. That was the committee I was asked to join by leadership and by the ranking member of the committee. It provides oversight of all federal agencies and programs. And we also provide efforts to help improve government reform and efficiency of the government. And I say this often, I'm not a defender of every federal program. I'm a defender of you, my constituents, who rely on federal services. And so that's kind of how I approach that committee. We've been rather busy lately because our committee is the committee that has had hearings on the IRS issue and on Benghazi. So, whenever there's an audit or an investigation of an agency, that's when we're called to conduct hearings. So we've tried to represent you and the issues that many of our constituents are concerned about. So those are my committee assignments. In addition to our committee work, I have proposed a number of bills. As the primary sponsor, I have introduced a bill on the Lyon County Land Exchange to help create jobs in the Lyon County area of our state, which is one of the highest unemployment counties in the state of Nevada. And we've had a hearing on that bill, and I'm very optimistic that we will get that bill scheduled and voted out so that we can move to the Senate and be supported and ultimately make it to the President. I also introduced recently the Tule Springs Historic Preservation Bill to help designate Tule Springs as a national monument and help protect the archaeological discoveries that have been made there. And again, want to commend Ms. Mortensen and the whole organization that's worked so hard to bring awareness to really the hidden treasure that we have here in our backyard, and now it's incumbent upon all of us to work to protect it. Within the Tule Springs bill, there are a number of other land protection bills, some that actually have impact here in the Sunrise Mountain area. So I can give you more information about that. We're still working on other public land legislation to help protect our public lands and provide for conservation and work to create jobs and promote tourism, and so we'll be announcing some more of that as we go. I've also co-sponsored a number of key bills, of course, everything from working on the Violence Against Women Act reauthorization, which was one of the first bills that we were able to get through in this Congress, and other key bills that are very important to kind of moving our country forward. And again, based on your questions, we can touch more on that. So my big areas of focus are, number one, jobs, job creation, getting our economy moving, getting people back working, and then helping to protect the jobs that we have. Also focused on comprehensive immigration reform to make sure that we fix the broken system that has hurt so many families and that is not what we need. And so we have worked very hard to make sure that we're doing everything we can to strengthen our border security, provide a pathway to citizenship for those who will earn it, as well as hold employers accountable to only hire those who are authorized to work here in the United States, all with an emphasis around family reunification, which has always been a cornerstone for comprehensive immigration reform. And then, as I said, a number of our public lands bills that we've introduced. So those have really been my top priorities based on the interest of my district and the issues that people have come to me with. It's not to say I'm not focused on other things, but those are really the top policy priorities that I've been focused on. Let me just close by asking my team to quickly introduce themselves so that you know who else is here from our office. We'll start with Rodney Emery, who's our Chief of Staff out of Washington, D.C.
Hello, everyone. My name is Rodney Emery. I'm out of the Washington, D.C. office, and I'm the Chief of Staff for Congressman Horsford. It's definitely an honor and a pleasure to be here with all of you and look forward to the productive dialogue.
Thank you.
Good evening. My name is Edith Fernandez, and I'm the District Director here. Our office is in the North Las Vegas City Hall building, and it's nice to see you, and please know that we have an open door.
Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Dietrich Stanford. I serve as the Senior Community Liaison for Congressman Horsford and located here in the district office as well.
Thank you.
Hi, everyone. My name is Beatrice. I'm the staff assistant in the district office, and please feel free to come to our office.
My name is Michael Flores. I am with Congressman Horsford's office. I do casework and some press stuff, and in the casework arena, I do immigration, also labor, and anything that you all might need help with, please feel free to contact our office. We're there to help, and we are very we're responsive. We're very quick, so make sure you contact us and we'll get back to you.
Responsiveness is very important because we know we all have an issue that's very important, and we want to be able to work with you to resolve that to the best of our ability. And so, whether it be on Medicare, on veterans benefits, on Social Security, those are the types of major issues on the federal level, including immigration and housing, that we tend to get the most inquiries about for assistance. But any other issue that you may have, even if it's not within our jurisdiction, if we need to contact a local elected or a state legislator or someone else to help get an answer to your question, we will do that. We also have our intern who's here.
Hello, my name is Miguel Macias. Born and raised Las Vegas, the 4th District, so it's an honor to help the Congressman and staff and all of you. Thank you.
I got to give a shout out to my tracker. The Republicans are so interested in Congressional District 4, even though it's not a campaign year, they're already sending trackers to our community events. So we appreciate them being here, and just so you know, you're on tape with the National Republican Congressional Campaign Committee. So good to be here. All right, so we're going to now take your questions. Again, this is very informal, so please just tell us who you are and what your interest is and question. And again, we'll try to do our best to answer your question. And appreciate you guys very much being here. Any general questions so far?
We have one constituent has a time constraint at
Okay.
the table, so I want to make sure you get her question first.
Okay.
Nancy? Did you have a question?
No, I didn't.
Oh. You know, I know Helen and Dr. Rowland are going to really talk about the Frenchman Mountain area and the wash. So I wondered if I could just take a few minutes, just to kind of let you know who Jeff and I are. This is my grandson.
Okay.
He's my 6th generation here, and he is a wonderful 5-year-old boy that when we visit Gold Butte and all our other beautiful places, they're the 7th generation of our family to be there. And 10 years ago, in Helen Mortenson's home, Friends of Gold Butte was founded. But then everybody just decided to relocate it to Mesquite because it seemed like a confrontation was coming between the small towns. But I want to specifically talk with you about stakeholders. Because constantly, and I hope the Republicans are really taping this, they love to say stakeholders. I have more background in Gold Butte than probably 90% of the people that live in Moapa, Mesquite, Overton, and Logandale. Who is a stakeholder? We are 20 minutes past Moapa, yet they sit at the table. When does Las Vegas get to sit at the table? We are a stakeholder. 2 years ago, Jeff and I sat at farmers markets and gathered 2,500 signatures in 6 days in support of the Gold Butte National Conservation Area. So when you come to Vegas and you think about stakeholders, I want you to see the faces that have been working on, and then it was started right here in Las Vegas. Wasn't started in Mesquite or Overton, started right here because people in Las Vegas care about Gold Butte. And I just beg you to introduce that bill. It's the last of my father's favorite places that we have to save. And I'm getting old and I need it done. So, and thank you for your caring about nature. And in future, we are certainly going to be really bending your ear about our wonderful Frenchman Sunrise Mountain area. Thank you for listening to me.
So do you want to share anything specific about the Sloan Canyon specifically, or?
Well, Jeff, do you want to say anything about Sloan Canyon? Our concern about Sloan Canyon is it's 10 years old, and we now only have 40 miles of trail, and we just got them last year. When the Sloan Canyon National Conservation Area, when it was first being looked at, we drew the boundaries. And there was a 500-acre piece of land that a developer really wanted. So somebody got smart, I wish it was me, wasn't, and said, well, why don't we just draw a line around and change the boundary? And when we were flush here in the valley, that was sold at a SNPLMA auction. And it was $68 million to go just into Sloan that sits in a BLM account. There's 63 million left. Nothing's happening out there, and we're wanting some movement. So that's our concern about Sloan.
Yeah, I know for a lot of our board members of Sloan Canyon, they've been doing this for so long. They feel like they've waited a long time, and they need to see something now where some of the younger generation, we kind of more patient because we just started this. So we do appreciate their input and helping us be more, I guess, eager to get things done, because we have noticed a lot of, I guess, a lot of the relaxation from a lot of other parties that are supposed to help us get it done. So we do appreciate you, even meeting with small groups like this, just to hear our voice. And then with Sloan Canyon, we not only do we want to see it around long, we just want to educate people on it, because a lot of people, when they come to Las Vegas, they're either at the Strip or they think Red Rock, or Mount Charleston. Not a lot of people know about Sloan Canyon and what it has to offer out there. It's been around just as long as Red Rock, just as long as Gold Butte and all these other places, and people that live in Henderson or Anthem don't even know it's there. So our main focus is just trying to educate people on its existence, and then hopefully that'll drive the people who say they're going to do stuff, to actually get it done.
Mr. Hickey?
Congressman, I just have one simple question. You have a lot of environmentalists here, and their focus has often been marred or obstructed through government. Could you give us your key representative that we could contact and work with in dealing with these environmental matters?
Well, yeah, you contact me, as the representative, my office, we have different staff that are assigned. John Brodkey in DC is the staff person who works with me on the Natural Resources Committee, and I'm on the subcommittee for environmental regulation. So if there is a particular, project that has an environmental issue or impact or, concern that, needs to be brought up or brought attention to, that's the appropriate place. But
there's a management structure within the BLM. We're aware of it. And that structure has hindered any development in this valley. You have complaints throughout the state dealing with BLM. I know you do. But our particular friction lies when a U.S. Senator by the name of Reed dedicates a monument and it's torn down later without notification to anyone. The operation, the structure in BLM comes out of Denver, at least it used to, and then comes in here. Security for this mountain was held down in Boulder City. There is some structural problems within BLM and its management. And that's why the interest in how that can be addressed, it's not easy, I know. I don't argue with you, but it's there.
Yeah, I agree. And as a member of I'm on the Natural Resources
That's
Committee.
what I...
And so BLM is before our committee on a pretty much of a weekly basis. As you indicate, there are areas where I've heard from concerns on both sides, from the environmental conservation as well as the development side, about challenges in working with agencies. And again, my position is, I'm not a defender of those agencies. I'm a defender of you, my constituents, and I want to understand what the concerns are so that then I can work with those agencies on your behalf to try to get to a positive resolution or outcome.
See, we've always felt, and I'm sure I can speak for the small group, we always felt that the Lake Mead recreational area should be expanded up into here, into this area, to give protection to the environmental issues around this whole area. And we have experts here that can speak to you about that. I won't say anymore.
That monument was nice. I went to the dedication of that monument, and it's a shame that it got torn down. It's something I'd like to see put up again.
All right, other questions?
The monument they're referring to is in the Lake Mead Boulevard as it enters between Sunrise and Frenchman's Mountain. Was the monument dedicated to the Great Unconformity, which is a unique geological formation. We had about 100 people at the February 15th dedication, 1995, and Bruce Babbitt was our Secretary of Interior, came to that, Harry Reid, Richard Bryan, a number of real high-powered people came to that dedication. The Nevada Department of Transportation also provided an area where school buses could park, so school children could see it. So it's all in your backyard right now. And like Tom said, the BLM just swept it all away and didn't notify us at all.
How so? When you say swept it all away, just so
completely gone.
Well, the problem was, if I can interject, there were vandalism issues, and the BLM felt that they couldn't control, they didn't have the manpower to patrol it, to keep the vandalism under control, and rather than having a vandalized monument out there, they decided just to pull it out. And it was hurtful to us because we were the ones who got the money, the federal trails money, to build it in the first place and put our own sweat and creativity into it.
And how was it designated?
It was a designated geologic interpretive site. In fact, the signage is still on the road. It didn't have any other special status within the BLM as far as I know. So that's all, you know,
Past history.
20 years ago almost. So what we're doing now is we're rejuvenating our efforts. BLM, we well know, has their hands full, and they're busy with Red Rock and other places. And so I'm really sympathetic to their problem, but that we feel that the area right next to where we are today has wonderful potential, this fantastic geologic resource. There's a cave with really interesting archaeological resources and other features that are being neglected. And so over the next few months and years, we are going to be working closely with BLM, and so we look forward to engaging with your staff to kind of help us work with collaboratively with BLM or the Park Service or both to try to do a better job of protecting this area right next to us.
And maybe rebuild the monument, that'd be kind of neat.
So right now, it's under BLM.
Correct.
Your desire would be for it to be part of the Lake Bean recreation area if that were to be extended.
Right.
And that is further east.
It's 9 miles from the entrance where you drive through the two mountains to the
entrance station.
The entrance station. It's 9 miles. So there's 46,000 acres between that entrance station and where we'd like to see that. And what happens is there's shooting back there, there's lots of graffiti, there's wonderful four-wheeling back there. It's a beautiful place. And if we could just have that entrance station moved back so before they could even go through that little corridor, there, that fee station was there, that we think that it would really cut down on what happens back there. And that's not as hard to do as getting a national conservation area or a national monument. That can be attached to any bill, and we feel that the National Park Service is supportive of what we want to do. So,
and the one reason is to make on the east side of the valley what we have at Red Rock on the west side of the valley. BLM has a small chunk of 46,000 acres to monitor when they've got all that on the west side, and it's really a predicament for them to get the personnel over to monitor. So we feel like if the Park Service came down all the way to the Great Unconformity, the entrance to this area, and had a similar situation what we have in Red Rock right now, we could have a benefit for our 2 million people in the valley on the east side, and this is in your backyard, and this is something.
And what about Nellis? How is
Nellis feels very good about this. We've been talking to Nellis people, and they should be talking to you, and they feel very comfortable because it borders right on their ordinance area. In fact, you have to walk over their ordinance area to get to the fence that keeps the Nellis Air Force people from coming across the ordinance area. So it's a very precarious thing. And it's, they would be very supportive of the Park Service coming in, we've been told.
Steve, this is an opportunity for you to make the dream of my husband and this group. And nobody has paid attention. This is a revival of a group that cares for this. And I ask you to please be the leader to make this a park. That way my kids from the school can participate. They can go there, they can visit. They have a park. Nobody cares for this part of the mountain. This is a very poor mountain. You can see I invited parents, everybody. They're not here. I need somebody to give me a hand, and I beg you that you help us to be the leader, nobody else, for me.
And that's why I'm here, is to listen and
And
understand
thank you.
as to, what the need is, so that I can then go back and figure out how to help.
Yeah, it's going to be great now.
When you think of what Red Rock has done for the west part of the valley, it could do this situation, could be for the east side of the valley, could create jobs, tourism, and a controlled and educated people that will come through that area. And I think you really, a visitor center, I can see all kinds of possibilities there that would enrich the east side of the valley.
And diversify the economy over here.
Over 4,000 acres, which is not a small
44.
Yeah.
44,000.
44,000, 46,000.
It's 46, I think, but you know, whoever you talk to somehow, it's approximately, let's just say approximately
We'll get
46,000.
the exact plot line.
Yeah.
Now, Citizens for Active Management reinvigorated themselves. We are a 5013C group now, registered with the Secretary of State. Steve Rowland is our president, I'm the secretary, and Danny Riddle right now is our treasurer. And these people are all part of the group. And we're organizing a big cleanup out there also, because that place really needs some help in adopting the highway. We've talked to the highway people. They put up a sign. We are ready to go and do a second sweep through there. I'm hoping we'll have a lot more people there. And we have brochures of what we're talking about. So if anybody wants to see a brochure and join us in our endeavor, but this is your backyard. This could be your Red Rock in the future. One other thing I'd like to mention, the Bob Bailey School was visited by Ken Burns a couple of years ago about the national parks, and got that movement of the families and the children there, everything interested that this is a monument, a movement towards the national criteria. And Take Pride in America, we won from the award for the children of the Bob Bailey School. We went back to Washington, D.C. to receive the award from Ken Salazar. So we do have
And the Hickey, don't forget.
Don't forget Hickey, that's right.
Yeah,
Well,
the
everybody.
Hickey. We got an award, everything.
And we visited Reed's office and everybody. This has so much potential to be another Red Rock on this east side of the valley. And I think people get more and more informed about it, but I wanted to let them know that we've all rejuvenated, we're ready to go, and worked with our congressional delegate, and we appreciate your interest immensely.
And educationally, you have an open-air science laboratory right there with so many things to offer. Bear poppy heaven out there in the spring. And with the Gypsum Cave Archaeological Site and the geologic form out there. I mean, but we just need to have access to it, information. We need a visitor center. We need you to be able to come and learn about it, because that's how kids learn to protect into the next century, getting their feet on the ground.
What we are doing, this is my principal, and this is my assistant principal, Hickey. And they're enthusiastic about it. The lady from Bailey, Terry, could not be here because she has an action today. And now we have, opportunities are here. We have a new principal that I don't know why he's not here, but only thing I heard about him. And I invited also the Clark County Board, because my idea is that community need to be together. We need to build the parents into the community. This area for here could be developed in an asset for this thing. The only thing, it's up to a leader like you, help us to work on this and concentrate in this area. We don't have it. We don't have none. These are poor people. They are not aware of what could be done. And my dream is to build this area for you.
That's
It's your area.
I want to thank the school administration for being here. It really does mean a lot. And I was with the school board and the superintendent earlier today at the Reclaim Your Future graduation they were having for the students. So I told them that I would be here tonight. But education and our schools are the center of a community. So clearly working with you all to make sure that whatever is done in a way that helps, you all do your job in educating our students and helping the community feel a sense of connection. So I appreciate you being here. How's school going? How are things at Hickey Elementary?
We're hopping. In fact, we're going to have to go pretty soon. We have a 6 o'clock event at our school that we don't want to miss.
All right.
But yeah, we're getting ready to wind down this year, and we're already making preparations for next year.
Thank you for what you do, and thank you to the teachers. And I know it's the end of the school year and you're working hard, so thank you for taking the time to be here tonight.
We appreciate you coming out to the mountain to see us too.
Are there other questions on any other area or topic that anybody would like to cover?
So, I guess we've had to strong arm our way to make a lot of our places known, you know, and we understand that that day and age is kind of dying, and it's more about working together. So, like, what advice can you give, I guess, our organization so that we're not taking these radical, we're not making these radical decisions to make our voice heard. Like, I know sometimes
this is your grandson talking about having to, you know, get the grandma to not be so radical, huh? How the movement changes.
It's worked for so long.
It's usually the other way around. Grandma's usually got to say, you know, settle down, come on, we're going to get there.
You know, she's had to do it for so long.
She's impatient.
She wants it now. You know, she's waited so long to have it done. You know, I understand her frustration. You know, it's been a part of our family for generations. You know, I'm sure that my great-grandfather was taken there by his father. You know, so it's really important to us. And she's not getting any younger. You know, she's kind of, I think it's just ticking. You know, and she's like, I got to do this. Now, if it's the last thing I do, I got to do it. So, what can I do to, I guess, to reach out to the BLM or other organizations that have control of these areas, so that they see us as, I guess, a friend instead of an enemy?
Well, I appreciate that question, and again, I'm here to really understand tonight. I don't want to give, you know, too much direction other than to say, you know, part of my job is to help facilitate that for you and with you. You know, the federal agencies, you know, that's our job as elected officials at the federal level, is to get them, those federal agencies, to work with our constituents based on local needs. And so you help, you know, inform me as how this issue is a local need for this part of our community, just as other people have done in other parts of the congressional district. As I said, you know, I have a huge district, so I'm from Yerington to Ely to Hawthorne and Tonopah, Pahrump, Mesquite, and everywhere in between. And every part of the district is facing different challenges. But one of the common things that I have seen, and Ms. Hickey, is there is this sense of, you know, we've been ignored. You know, the agencies aren't responsive. You know, we're trying to do for ourselves and work, you know, to come up with something that would be good